Hey everyone, so this is part 3 and hopefully the last part of my first mental health inpatient experience. So I'm just gonna wrap up a few things that I didn't get a chance to put in the first two videos. So I'm pretty sure I ended the last one with I was about to tell you about how the loopholes that happened because of the time that I arrived. So basically, I checked myself into the emergency part of the hospital, the general emergency room, on Thursday, November the 26th at about 2:30 in the afternoon. And I didn't make it up into the mental health ward that they call mental health inpatient. All the patients called it 3 North C. But I didn't get up there until like 10 p.m. at night. So apparently, because of the time that I actually got up there, they didn't send my paperwork to the correct people until like halfway through Friday. And by the time that my paperwork had reached the Ministry of Health on Friday, they had already sent out their workers to do, information sessions with patients and stuff. And I kind of like missed my opportunity, I guess, and they are closed on the weekends. So I was there Thursday afternoon, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and almost all the way through Monday before I had this lady from the Ministry of Health come and basically just like inform me of my general rights when it came to the paperwork that I was given, because I signed myself involuntarily. It's not like like I overdosed on medication or something and I was taken into the hospital to the mental health ward like against my will. I voluntarily put myself there, and I thought that made a difference, but apparently it doesn't make a shit of difference. So your voluntary status is supposed to be for 3 days. I had my order renewed literally the day after I got there, to December the 10th, after speaking with my therapist once. And I can tell you right now, it's because of the attitude I popped him on the first day. He thought he could just check a little fucking box and be like, yep, you're staying another 2 weeks because I said so. So the first thing I wanted to ask this ministry worker was pretty much my rights. Like, I showed her my paperwork, showed her that I signed involuntary, showed her that my order had been renewed because apparently I was still a harm to myself, according to my doctor. And I asked her, if I wanted to appeal this, what would happen, what were the steps that I had to take, and, things like that. So she pretty much told me that it would take 7 days for you to even bring your case in front of the board, she calls, which I don't even know why she calls it that. It's more like a panel, because it's literally 2 people. I think one is from the hospital that you're staying at, and another is from the Ministry of Health. And it's basically just your doctor having to validate why he felt the need to renew the order. And if they don't feel like the doctor was valid in his reasoning, then they can basically throw the order out and you can go home. But like I said, it takes 7 days to do that. So from that time, I figured it out. I was like, so even if I do appeal it now, that's only going to get me home 3 days earlier than this 2-week order says. And I was like, you know, do I really want to piss him off even more? Because, I mean, this is my first time in a situation like this. He probably knows more loopholes than I do. And he can probably keep me here pretty damn long if he fucking wants to. So, I just was shocked that it even took 7 days for them to appeal that kind of thing. Like, I was flabbergasted. And then I was pissed that, like, I didn't even get informed of my rights till, like, almost 4 days into, you know, my stay. And, of course, they do this during your visitation hours, which are already limited. So I was literally having visitation with my husband, and the ministry worker was like, oh, can I speak with you privately? So, like, I have to go send my husband out of the ward while I go sit with this freaking ministry worker for a minute. Honestly, I got most of my information from the one nurse that I had there that I felt like was trustworthy because of how he treated me on the first day, and just like how he kept treating me every time I seen him. He was very informative. He gave me like any information on the drugs that I was taking and stuff, and he answered any of my questions, which a lot of the other nurses would kind of just like blow you off or give you half-assed answers that would still leave you with more questions. And if I didn't get my information from that specific nurse, then I would talk to my roommate, because she had been through the system, this specific system in this specific hospital before more than once, so she knew more about how things worked obviously than I did. So I would rely on her as well. After I finally got out, I was so relieved though, and my mom's house was literally within view of my hospital window. And it was pretty torturous every day to be able to see, you know, my family member's house so damn close to where I was and not be able to go and see her or check up on her or anything. So the first thing that I did when I got out is my husband and I walked to my mom's house, and I said thank you to my brother, saw my mom, gave her a big hug and kiss, and let her know I was okay. And I saw my aunt, let her know everything was okay. And then my husband and I went home. And it's crazy how much can change in such a short period of time. But on my way home, they had like slapped in one of those like service stations that are just off of the highway, you know, that has like a gas station and just like usually a convenience store, and then like a couple of places where you can eat. So they slapped like one of those in 5 days in the time I was in the hospital. So we stopped at this place that I had never seen before, and I've grown up in like this area my whole life, so it was just weird to like be in a familiar atmosphere but to not recognize like a new place, you know, because you'd been inside for that long. So we stopped and ate there, and that was like my first real test of like eating outside of the hospital. And I think it's definitely the drugs, but I'm like constantly hungry. So I ate like a full burger, a full poutine, and my husband was just like looking at me like I was a bottomless pit or something. Like, he hasn't seen me eat that like that in a long time, so that was a good thing. And then I had kind of like my first test of I guess my emotions, or my anger, or whatever you want to call it, my mania. I had a test of my bipolar limits, The same day, like on our way home, we stopped at the pharmacy so that I could drop off my prescription, and I planned on coming back later to pick it up. So we were getting milk, I think, or cream or something for my coffee, and there was this young man who I think had Down syndrome that worked there, and he was restocking the eggs, and his manager was like standing behind him with one of those trolley carts that had all like the eggs and everything on it. And I don't remember exactly what he said. I think he asked her if what he was doing was okay, or if it looked okay or something. And she told him to lower his voice or to stop talking so loud or something like that. And the old me, like, would have instantly ripped the strip, like, right off of this manager and been like, how dare you fucking talk to him like that? But I was like, you just got out of the mental hospital, keep your shit under wraps, like, don't say anything. And just from the time that I witnessed that to the time we went through the checkout and got back in the car, my husband kind of noticed that something was bothering me, and I told him, like, that the whole incident with the Down syndrome guy, like, just, like, kind of got to me, and I was like, I feel, like, bad that I didn't say anything, or like, I just felt bad. And he was like, honey, that's a normal reaction. Like, if any normal person with any heart had seen or witnessed that, they would have been slightly upset about it. But you didn't overreact, and you didn't say anything, and you kept it under wraps, and you acted in, a way that a normal person would. And when he said that to me, I was like, oh my God, he's right. Like, I just passed my first test of like, being out of the hospital and seeing if I could, like, be back in the real world and not have, like, mania and anger still. And that was exactly one of those situations where I would have become angry and said something, or said something to the manager, or even, like, reported the manager or something, because, like, that kind of thing really bothers me. Like, my mom always taught me to treat people with respect, even people with disabilities, or, and I was just, like, taken aback by the way she talked to him. And I don't know, I guess I was just proud of myself for the way that I handled it, or lack of handled it, because it was the first, like, it was the first normal reaction that I had to a situation in a long time. And I think I'm still kind of getting used to it. I think my husband's still getting used to it. But the way he explained it is, like, before we both felt like we were walking on eggshells around our house, and now there's not so many eggshells lying around, and like, it's okay to be emotional about certain things that other people would be emotional about. So I'm just trying to learn that right now, like, when the appropriate times are to use my emotions, because it's literally been years, like, since 2011, since my mom had her stroke, since I've really felt this emotionally and mentally stable and in control. So I'm just kind of feeling out the new me on the inside, if that makes any sense. I'm trying to enjoy the feeling of normalcy, and I'm hoping that after a little while of taking this medication, I'll like, start being able to have somewhat normal reactions, because there have been times where I feel like I want to cry, but I can't. And I think that might be because of the medication. But I'm working on it, and I'm working on the normalcy, you know, and it's a weird feeling, but I'm getting used to it day by day, and it feels really good actually to, I don't know, to just be able to vent and not have my husband look at me like I might go off the deep end. Like, we're starting to have a lot more trust that in, I guess, the medication, that it's working, and we're not walking on eggshells anymore, like I said. So take that step if you need to, because as bad as the experience was in the hospital, I still got what I needed, which was the mood stabilizer. So maybe if you're thinking about, you know, checking yourself into a psychiatric facility or some sort of mental health facility or hospital, that you just, you know, you do a little bit of local research, like see what's close to you, see what, see if there's any reviews maybe of other people that have been there and their opinions and experiences, and then go from there. And don't just like throw yourself into a situation that you're not prepared for, like I did, because that really could have been a triggering moment for me if I hadn't had the right people there the first day. And I think about that a lot since I got home. But I'm thankful that didn't happen, and I'm home now, and I'm feeling better, and I'm on the right medication, and I just feel like instead of seeing the light at the end of the tunnel now, I'm standing in the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's all around me, and I can feel it on my face, and it feels glorious. And I just want you all to have the same hope and the same feelings that I have right now. So just remember to stay strong. Don't be afraid to take that first step. And remember, you are never, ever alone.